Well, I greet you in divine love on today. I thank you for tuning in on today. I just have a quick prophetic word for the men again. God has been dealing with me concerning our men. God trying to pull some real kings to the forefront to stand up and fight in this hour and in this season for Him. And I'm telling you, He's backing it even with His word. So I know that there are some, that will listen to this, and there's some that may not agree with this, but there are also some God ordained spouses that God is dealing with in this hour and in this season as well, that God is trying to pull you to the forefront, and you study rebelling and you study going the way that you choose to go and want to go. And so this is the word of the Lord that came to me, and it comes from Proverbs 31 and 3. It says, "Give not your strength to loose women, nor your ways to those who who and that which ruin and destroy kings." There's a king inside of you that he tried to pull out of you in this hour and in this season, but you seem to keep rebelling against the move and the plan of God, trying to please everybody else. Your ego and your pride won't let you move forward into what God is calling you to. It's like now you have become stuck, stagnated, and stiff-necked. Why? Because Shaban Bokosai, that's what you have connected to in this hour and in this season. Nobody operating with power, nobody operating in obedience, nobody operating in the will of God or the plan of God or the move of God. Everybody in your circle seems to be going around and round in circles looking for a different result. And a lot of things that they are calling God, and God is not in. And I'm telling you today, my friend, let this minister to the king that's down on the inside of you. Give yourself no more to the loose woman or women. You know exactly where you are, who you are. This will begin to penetrate the barriers of disobedience. This will begin to penetrate and convict you right where you are. Allow God to be God in this hour and in this season of your life. I'm telling you, there's a king inside of you. God have divine instructions awaiting for you, for the one that he has chosen for you. There's things that God has given some ordained spouses in this hour and in this season to do. And let me say to you, ladies, also those of you that will tune in, if God tell you to get up and go to Walmart on your lunch break, baby, find yourself going to Walmart on your lunch break. Let me say to you, whatever God tell you to do in this hour and in this season, do it, because God is moving only on that with obedience in this hour. He's not moving on anything else in this hour but the obedience of that which he is calling for those of us that have been chosen and handpicked to do. So in this hour and in this season of your life, just begin to know, ladies, if God tell you to take a vacation, take that vacation. He may not give you all the instructions. He may not give you everything right then, all details right then, but begin to seek him and allow him, become sensitive enough for him to begin to speak to you. And I can just truly say, if he tell you to prepare a meal, begin to prepare a meal, because you don't know why God is having you to prepare a meal. Just do whatever the Lord is instructing you to do, ladies, concerning your God-ordained spouse in this hour and in this season. And in this hour and in this season, God is going to use some ordained spouses. He's going to begin to put them on display and put them on the forefront. And why he's going to do that is because he wants to begin to pull the men back to a certain place and back to a certain position in this hour and in this season of their lives. For so long, the men have been overlooked because the women have been overbooked. And what I mean by that is the women have been overbooked to doing their own things and doing their own wills, their own way. In this hour and in this season, God has called and chosen for the women, but to begin to draw out, that's within the kings. And I'm telling you, if you're not married, he still will allow you to intercede in this hour and in this season for his purpose, plans in this hour. I'm telling you today, my friend, hear God. Man of God, get in position and allow God to bless you. Stop holding up your process. Stop holding up the progress of God. God is waiting for you to move out of your own way. You have an agenda, but God got a plan. Let me say that again. You have an agenda, but God got a plan. So whatever you need to do by any means necessary, King, in this hour, I call forth the King in you, and I command your feet to be washed from the harlot in the name of Jesus. Take up your cross and follow him, because he will not lead us to desolate places. He will not lead us to places where that is not fruitful and mutually beneficial in this hour. He has a plan for your versus your agenda. Allow God to be God in this hour of your life. And in this season of your life, he ready to put you on display for him. You may have gone through much persecution in times past, in years past, let me say, but in these last few years, you have caused a spirit of disobedience and the wrath of God to come down upon you because of your disobedience. Get out of your own way in this hour and in this season, and hear the voice of God. You know the voice of God from the stranger's voice. Begin to get out of your own way in this hour and in this season, man of God, woman of God. Allow God to use you right where you are, and allow God to begin to lead, guide, and direct you into all truth, so you can begin to do what it is, meet the needs, so that you can begin to meet the needs of that God-ordained spouse. And I'm telling you, this is not for everybody, but it is for somebody. I truly thank and appreciate God that it's about for 50 of you, be you male or female. It's 50 of you that this is for, and this is going to resonate and going to be confirmation to some, and some is going to begin to spark and ignite different things down on the inside of you, just like I'm speaking to the King right now for him to come forth. This is going to ignite the King in him. Why? Because it's going to resonate and begin to motivate and influence him to come forth in that which God has called him to do in this hour and in this season. And let me just say to you women, we are to rise early, seeking God for our spouses. And I'm telling you, it does good for us to read Proverbs 31 in this hour, because that's what he raising up, virtuous women for his sons in this hour. God is not going to just give the sons anything. Even if you are in a wrong relationship and you're wanting to marry, you have a desire to marry, God is not going to allow you to marry wrong. Even if you have married before, he's not going to allow us to marry wrong in this hour and in this season. But we must know the voice of God, and we must hear the voice of God and not the opinion of man or men in this hour and in this season. We have to get around people that we know that's going to be mutually beneficial to us, in this hour, because God have need of us. If he didn't, he wouldn't have never allowed the two to know one another. For those of you that know your God-ordained spouses, I'm telling you in this hour, get out of your own way and allow God to be God and manifest himself, that he can get the glory out of this coming together with you and your God-ordained spouse. To trust the plan and the process in this hour. Let me drop down to verse, I'm still in Proverbs 31. Let me drop down to verse 15, ladies, and give you something. Let this be food for thought on today. She rises while it is yet night and gets spiritual food for her household and assigns her maids their task. Let me tell you, assign your angels their task in this season. If you don't have a housemaid, baby, assign your angels in this hour and in this season to bring about that which you need done for your God-ordained spouse. I'm telling you, and whatever it is God is telling you to do in this hour, begin to begin to allow God to arise and your enemies be scattered. Know that you know that you know that you know without a shadow of a doubt that God has spoken and said to you that this is your wife, that this is your husband. Don't let nothing or no one begin to move you. And some of you have stepped into a pool and a puddle of witchcraft. You have went in blind, but now God is getting ready to show you everything and everyone around you. You're going to see them for who they are, and you're going to think your eyes are playing tricks on you. And some, it may be close friends and associates, some it may be family members, but I'm here to tell you today, you will begin to see that witchcraft is in operation. And I'm going to tell you, you will begin to see and know within your spirit that it's time for you to shift, shake, and move in this hour from where you are. Allow God to adorn you, ladies, for your God-ordained spouses in this hour and in this season. And for you men, you got to begin to allow yourself to be modest as well. Because sometimes the enemy will throw, a depression out there on you to keep you, moving in a circle, in a cycle. You won't fix yourself up. You'll just throw on some, I'm just going to go on about the day. Baby, let me tell you something. It's time to shift and move in this hour and in this season and do what God say do concerning ourselves. It's time for us to love, live, and laugh in this hour as we go on this journey for God, as we obey God, and as we do what He calling us to do for such a time as this. So without further ado, I want to tell you, kings, come forth in this hour and in this season. There's a king in you, and where you are, that king cannot come forth, because sometimes we could walk around with pigeons and hang out with chickens when God called us to be an eagle. So if you know that you're an eagle and you're hanging out with pigeons and chickens, baby, it's time to separate yourself, because them three don't mix. That's toxic. They can't even produce together. So with that being said on today, my friend, let this marinate in your spirit. Let it marinate throughout the day. And sometimes you may have to listen to this more than once for it to get in your spirit. But some is going to hit on target that is for. So I'm saying to you today, my friend, out of all you're getting, get an understanding. Ladies, rise up early and begin to seek God for your God-ordained assignments concerning your spouses in this season. And make sure that you're doing as God, called you to do. Begin to read Proverbs 31 and begin to study Proverbs 31 and allow it to begin to resonate and marinate it within you, that you may do what God is calling you to do for His Son, because that's what it's about. When your marriage is ministry, and when you're marrying God's Son, you got to take care of that household. It speaks about it in Proverbs 31. He may go out and get natural food for the household, but it's up to you to bring in the spiritual food. I just read it to you. So begin to go back and read it for yourself, my friend. Love, don't take my word for it. Just go back to Proverbs 31, read 1 through 31, and I'm telling you, out of all you're getting, get an understanding. This is yours truly, Prophetess Dana Summers. Be blessed until next time.